I just wanted to post an update. I've been practicing, obviously. Um, I'm almost through level 6. I got like one more step, and I did like 3 out of 4, so I got one more step out of to finish 6. Um, and I finished 5, obviously. So there's 10 levels in musician, and I'm trying to kind of go through it quickly. Um, Not perfect every song, but just like get to like getting the um, the techniques down, and then I'm gonna actually focus on songs I want to play, like rock songs, whatever. I was thinking maybe after level eight, I would start to think about making my own song, or like editing a popular song's lyrics and doing that. That's what I was thinking of doing. Because I had a dream that was like prophetic like that, and like there's this song by Killswitch Engage called "My Curse," and in the dream I renamed it "My Cure," and like I was doing stuff like that. I was like changing the lyrics to mainstream songs, stuff like that. I will still be writing my own, I think, too, but that's definitely a big part of what I'll be doing. Basically covers, but changing lyrics. Um, um, yeah, and just I don't know. I got a lot of things I could talk about potentially, but not really sure where the spirit is leading me to talk about. Um, just God pulls his strings to save his children, and I don't want to be one of those guys that assumes that someone doesn't have hope. That's why partially I want to blow up because I want to be able to talk to these people in like Hollywood, or not necessarily Hollywood, but like the music industry. Just like because if you're like, they're not going to pay any attention to you unless you yourself have like some sort of status in their eyes and like the world's eyes of what a status is. We know God sees things differently. That it doesn't have to do with your status in this world, but the world is fleshly, and that's how it. To me, it makes sense that God could have me send a message, dog, to for that purpose. Try to reach out to people like that. Um, and like I said, my ex wrote in this book of poetry, quote, "I sold my soul to find out what I already knew." So and like I said, I know that she is the one. I know that, and she's going to be saved. So if she can be saved after selling her soul, then the same way that people give up on all these Hollywood people, I'm not going to do that because I don't know. I don't know. Only God knows. And so even if I do speak to them and, there's really, they're just not one of God's children, um, maybe by kind of having these moments where you're talking to them, you can instill hope into some people um, who might think that there is none. And I'm not going to just be like attacking them. That's not the goal. The goal is to listen to God's promptings and be wise. Um, because like I could show them, doing the hand signs, all that stuff, and like we all know about that. Those of us who pay attention to that stuff, but it's like, what is He actually leading you to do? Is He actually leading you to just focus on that, or is He leading you to um, get into positions where you could talk to them and then eventually bring that stuff up, not just off the bat? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. And so like the whole thing is like basically listening to God's promptings, because it's very easy to kind of go like say everything that's on your mind, but sometimes you move ahead of God when that happens, and it's like, no, you gotta chill. You gotta listen to the Spirit's promptings. Yeah. And sometimes God does ask you to do crazy things like that, or to just like, you have to speak. Like, your word was in me like a fire, and I had to speak. Jeremiah, that sort of thing that happens. I've had moments like that where I have to talk about the Mandela effect and what that's doing in our realm of the world, and yeah, yeah. So, and so I've had times where I've had to talk about flat Earth and stuff, and by flat Earth, I don't necessarily know exactly how it looks. I just believe that the Earth is fixed and immovable. And I know that NASA is a bunch of liars because I've seen them time and time again lying. Um, yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, like, conspiracy guy, whatever you want to say. But my goal is obviously to bring people to Christ. That's the ultimate goal, and that can be multifaceted. You hear people finding Him through those methods. You hear them finding them through all these different methods. So I'll just try my best to be a light and a voice, and I really want my music to help people, even people who don't know God yet, because I've had music that helped me when I didn't know God yet. Secular music, music that, just like they understand you. It seems like a lot of Christian music doesn't really hit in the same way in a lot of ways of the emotions that you go through when you're actually not saved, like it's like it gives a good perspective now after you're saved, but what about the people who aren't saved yet? So it's like you want to be able to reach them too. My calling is more towards the lost, I think, than towards like the church. I think. I mean, that's kind of how it seems to feel. More towards the lost and evangelizing, stuff like that. I used to go on VR chat and stuff and try to evangelize, tell my exorcism testimony, stuff like that. And how I used to be a drug dealer, all that stuff. I used to tell that, and it's tough. That's like a battlefield, and I give props to every street preacher out there. Not everyone's called to do it the same way, though. But yeah, they are doing God's work, I believe, because that's a difficult thing to do. If they're called to do it, then they're doing God's work. Yeah, and so we know that this whole thing's a spiritual war, and you learn that pretty well when you're dealing with stuff like that, or the Mandela effect especially. That's a very heavy war when you start talking about that and its relation to Christianity. Yeah, but yeah. God bless you all, and it's time for me to get back to practicing. And there's Rom. Mom is sleepy. Bye.